As we seek to stay in step with the Holy Spirit, we have fellowship with each other. Following the joy of celebrating the 12th birthday of Damascus Road, we continued meeting together and offering that community to others. That happened with picnics and other fun in the park or with Serve the City, because sharing food is a good way to share life. And especially in autumn when new people would arrive, food was a great way to share who we are. That happened through sharing life events throughout the year, such as rejoicing together at weddings in the area and abroad, and at child dedications, but also weeping together when earthly life ends. And 2 baptisms being this mixture of being joined with Christ, figuratively buried with Him, and yet reborn with His life. Drum provided the chance for young adults, in the broad sense of young, to be empowered and to reconnect to God and each other throughout the school year. They held weekly fellowship nights, but also had special events like the annual breakaway and a one-day retreat with other university ministries in the Netherlands. Other ministries gave opportunities for singles to focus on God first, and for couples to connect as a unit with God, and for men to chop wood. For children, along with trips to Hoensbroek for VBS, or to a children's farm, there was the consistent teaching and playing and crafting, this year with extra help from UWC students. Plus, some extra activities outside of Sundays just for the preteens. We studied through the book of Acts, considering the call to action it gives us, like acts of service that we could do through initiatives, including Serve the City Maastricht, acts of giving and being sent, and we sent people and finances out in the world to support gospel work in other nations for things like weekend trainings and multi-month mission trips and more. And following the early church's devotion to learning, sometimes after the services, we had workshops on topics such as apologetics and the end times. The call to action for our congregation sometimes meant a call to move. Our family remained flexible as locations switched around in the MEC, plus a few times meeting at the NGK in the late autumn and around Christmas time, and eventually needing to shift our regular spot to the Lighthouse Church from March onward, while we wait for the home God's preparing for us. But wherever we are, we remain rooted in prayer. Sundays, Mondays, Fridays, Saturdays, and our various journey groups provided place for prayer and discussion and study and a whole lot of memories around the table and out in the world. Beyond just our congregation, early Easter morning we joined with several other churches to walk through stations of the resurrection, remembering the confusion and the joy of those witnesses, and joyfully seeking to share that same good news that Jesus is alive and exalted. And that same Holy Spirit that raised Jesus from the dead lives in us and teaches us more about the good gifts and purposes God has for His people. Together, we considered that more during our second annual retreat at a Belgian farm, knowing that where God's people are gathered, He's among us. Our church body wouldn't be able to be healthy without each part doing its part. Volunteers in so many areas make our church run, and some have gifts of administration and leadership, such as John Gorenta and Ernest Childs, who joined the servant leaders team. Location changes, leadership changes, and so much else. Throughout the changes, we remain certain of the unshakable kingdom God offers, and that someday we will be left with the unshakable remains.